Okay, here you can see I have constructed a simple DC circuit. My negative terminal here, resistor here. This resistor here is jumpered out by this wire there. We have our bulb, and if I connect the positive terminal there, we have a light which lights up. Now then, I take my multimeter here, set it to DC volts, you can see that. Now if I measure the input voltage, it doesn't work. Oh. There we go. So we've got 12 volts going in there, 12.1, which means if we measure across the bulb here, there's 11.77 volts here, which shows you. So that's measuring voltage. Now you can measure current. Right, to move my probe, swap that over. Set it in amps to start with. I need to disconnect this here. Connect that there. So there we go. So it's drawing 0.14 of an amp. That's measuring ampage. Okay, so here we have a light emitting diode, so I'm going to demonstrate how diodes work. You can see on my circuit I've removed the bulb and I've removed that jumper there, so this resistor is now in circuit, giving a bit more resistance there. Now if I take the diode and put it across the bulb holder here, you can see nothing happens. If I turn it around, however, so that the current is flowing in a different direction through the diode, you can see that it lights up. There we go. Okay, now you can see I've soldered in our light emitting diode, our LED, across the bulb holder here, and I've also soldered in a transistor here, a BC108. Now, I've got my 9V battery here connected up. Now this is to demonstrate we can use a transistor as a switch, and if I cross the base and the collector with my fingers, we can see that the LED lights up here, which means that the small current is allowed to flow through my fingers here, switches the transistor on so that the large current to power the LED can flow through there. Okay, so here we are going to measure the resistance of a couple of different resistors. So look at these here. Change my range. So that's coming out 465. And looking at the colour codes, we have yellow, violet and brown, which will be 4, 7, and the multiplier is 10, which is marked up as 470 ohms, so that's within the tolerance. Gold is 5% tolerance. And let's have a look at this one here. I need to change our range down again. So 2.3 ohms. So looking at that, that's red, gold. So 2 and 0.1, which should be 2.2. So if we measure it again, 2.4, 2.3. So yeah, that's also within range. So that's measuring resistors and reading off the colour codes. Okay, here we have fitting the PL259 to some coax. I've got coax, there's one already fitted, it's a little patch lead. Firstly, I've stripped down the appropriate amount here, trimmed the braid and folded the braid back down. Now we just need to strip some off the centre, like so. Straighten that up. Now, this bit on first, otherwise you feel like a bit of an idiot. And we thread this through. Yeah. Now this particular one is threaded. Here. So there we go, I don't know if you can see that, centre coils in there. I'll employ my little helping hand. Hold my connector in place. Soldering iron's nice and hot. So now I just need to heat this up. Get a nice amount of solder all down in there. A nice solid RF connection. Like so. Lead-free solder, of course. There we go, that's still going to be hot. But there we have soldered up PL259. Okay, here we have fitting a 13 amp plug. Wire strippers, let's strip off, it's about 35mm. About that. So that's the shield there. Right, we want to keep the full length on the earth. Trim a bit off the neutral. Trim a bit more off the live. Adjust my wire strippers down. I'll strip a little bit off the tips there. A bit more than that. That's the earth. Neutral, aiming for about 6mm. Finally, live. Okay, now we want to seat these firmly into the plug. Live there, earth there, neutral there. So, we'll start with the earth. Screwed in nice and tight. Also have the cable grip here. So our live needs to go in here. like so. Neutral. Screws all the way out. Neutral. He wants to pop in there. Right. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Everything's nice and tidy in there. So we don't want too much excess on all of these. The fuse is sat nicely down there. Screw to hold the cable grip. It's a little tricky. There we go, there's a bite. So he's tightened up there now, so that's not going anywhere. Get in there. Right, now you just fasten them up. There we have, fully fitted 13 amp plug.